Hi booktube friends, it's me Bethany from BethRecommends, and today I'm going to be talking about my most anticipated 2020 releases. So for this video, I'm hoping that I bring up some books that maybe you haven't heard of. I'm focusing on the ones that are available on NetGalley so that I actually have a chance to actually read them before they come out. Let's just get into it because I work third shift and your girl is tired. Well, I have 16 books here that I'm going to talk to you about today. So the first book is called The Third Rainbow Girl, which is by Emma Copley Eisenberg. And it's about three women who in West Virginia in 1980, they hitchhike to this festival called the Rainbow Gathering. Two are murdered and one survives. So that seems really intriguing to me. I'm very much a true crime reader. Listen to a ton of true crime podcasts, so that seems to be a good one to start with. That comes out January 21st. The next book comes out April 14th, and it's called The Happy Ever After Playlist, which is by Abby Jimenez. She wrote The Friend Zone. I heard mixed reviews about that one, but this is about our main character who loses her fiance a couple years ago from when the book starts, and she gets a dog, but it turns out the dog already has an owner and the owner wants the dog back. So she meets this musician guy and it's a romance, so you probably figured where one is heading. Next book comes out March 13th. It is called An Apology to the Young Addict by James Brown. It's a memoir. James Brown, he is 60 years old. He has a lot of years of sobriety under his belt, and this is all about him reflecting on his life and trying to help the next generation with their addiction. And for those of you who might not know, because I never really talk about my personal life much here, I am in recovery. I have been, it's almost 2.5 years sober for me, so I am in recovery, so that's why I'm very much interested in that one. The next one also comes out January 21st. It's called The Wife and the Widow by Christian White. It's about these two women. So it's a dual perspective kind of story. Kate, who learns about her late husband's secret life, and about Abby, who learns about evidence that corroborates her husband's guilt. And I guess their worlds collide. So that seems pretty interesting. It's a thriller. The next book comes out March 17th. It's called Sparrow by Mary Cecelia Jackson. And it's about a gifted ballerina who keeps secrets that she learned from her late mother. And she's assaulted by her boyfriend, Tristan. And she has to confront her past or else she loses herself. So I'm really much into that one. It's like a teen YA book. Next book comes out January 14th. It's called Burn the Dark by S.A. Hunt. It's a fantasy book. And it's all about this YouTuber named Robin. And Robin is a YouTuber who goes viral for his witch hunting series videos, and everybody thinks that they're just for fun, and they're not real, but they actually are real. And it's all about this character's revenge on this witch coven who wronged their mother a long time ago. So that's seems very intriguing to me. Seventh book, it also comes out January 21st. There's a lot of books coming out that day, gal. It's called All the Fucking Mistakes by Gigi Engle. And it's marketed as a sex handbook for millennial feminists. So it covers body, sexuality, and confidence. That very much intrigues me as well. Eighth book comes out February 25th. It's called Oona Out of Order, or Oana. I think this would be kind of in the speculative fiction genre, and it is by Margarita Montimore, or Montimore. So the book starts off at New Year's Eve, 1982. At midnight, the main character, she turns 19, but when she wakes up and is a different part of her life, it's very much compared to Life After Life by Kate Atkinson. So if you're into that book, you might like this one as well. Next book comes out March 3rd. It's called The Body Double. It's a thriller by Emily Beyda. And it's all about this girl who gets hired, or a woman who gets hired to be a body double for this recluse actress by this one guy. I guess he sees her in like a diner or someplace like that, and offers her the opportunity, and she accepts. And so it's all about what's going on with this recluse actress. Can we really trust this guy who hired the main character? That kind of thing. The 10th book comes out March 31st. It's called I Want You to Know We're Still Here by Esther, Safran, Foer. The writer is a child of parents who are both sole survivors from their families during the Holocaust, so they're the only ones left in their family from the Holocaust. And this is a memoir, so it's nonfiction.
Duh.
She learns from her mother that her father actually had a previous wife and a daughter who were also killed in the Holocaust. So it's about her journey to where he was hiding out during the war and trying to find out more about the previous wife and the daughter. Next book comes out February 25th. It's called Hood Feminism by Mikki, Kendall. It's all about... It's like a book about feminism, but from the perspective of survival of many instead of the privileges of the few. So instead of trying to fight for maybe things that aren't so important to all women, but for the majority, they're struggling. They're really struggling. So it's all about essays on topics about food availability, living wages, safe neighborhoods, access to quality education, so things like that. So I think this will be a very interesting book to read, since there's all these books with authors who are white feminists, and that's great. I'm glad that they're continuing the conversation, but this book will hopefully bring a new perspective and talk more about intersectionality when it comes to feminism as well. Next book comes out March 10th. It's called A Phoenix First Must Burn. It's edited by Patrice Caldwell, and it's 16 authors who weave worlds that focus on gender nonconforming and Black characters. And these individuals, these characters are set in a fantasy sci-fi kind of world. So that sounds really, really interesting to me. Next book comes out January 21st, called Layoverland by Gabby Noone. It's a YA book. So this girl, the main character, she passes away in a car accident, and she ends up in purgatory, and she has to help so many souls reach heaven before she can actually reach heaven. And I'm thinking, I think I remember that the first soul that she has to try to get to heaven is the guy who caused the car accident, in which she passes away. So I think that'll be a very interesting book to read. Number 14 comes out February 11th, and it's Adequate Yearly Progress by Roxanna Elden. And this just, I don't know much about this book, but it's supposed to be The Office, like the TV show, set in a high school setting. So I'm really interested in seeing what that story is all about. But yeah, I'm really interested in seeing how that one is. March 3rd, The Two Lives of Lydia Bird by Josie Silver, who's the author of One Day in December. It's supposed to be like a romance, or maybe, since One Day in December is a romance, I'm thinking that this one might be too. So these two main characters, Lydia and Freddie, have been together for over a decade, and then Freddie passes away in a car accident. Lydia, she gets another chance with Freddie. Like, it's like two worlds simultaneously that she's jumping in and out of. One world where Freddie's still alive, and then one world where Freddie is still gone. So, I think that will be very interesting, because I'm really liking One Day in December so far. So, I'm really hoping that I can get my hands on this book before it comes out. And then the last book that I have to talk to you guys about today is To Have To Hoax by Martha Waters. It's like a historical fiction, maybe a romance. So it says 5 years ago, Lady Violet Grey and Lord James Audley meet, fall in love, and get married. And then 4 years ago, they got into this huge fight, and they barely have spoken since. But then one day, Violet, she hears that James got in a really bad horse accident, is unconscious, but then she finds him in the pub, totally fine. And so she makes up this illness, which James catches on to very quickly, and it's kind of like them going back and forth trying to get back at each other. I don't read too much historical fiction, so yeah. So those are all the books that I'm really looking forward to reading next year. Hopefully you learn about some new books that pique your interest. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my videos, please subscribe. What are your 2020 anticipated releases when it comes to books? Please comment below. Let's have a conversation about it. If you have a video about your most anticipated releases, I want to know about it. So, and you can also follow me on any social media, which will be put in the description box. So, hope you guys are having a wonderful December, and I'll catch you next time.